How's it going, everybody? It's Stas here. So the markets had a pretty good day today. The S&P went up 0.3%. The NASDAQ 100 went up over 1%. We did have the Dow go down a little bit. It went down 0.1% as the Russell went up 0.1%. So today we're going to break down some stocks, some charts, my thoughts on the markets, plus more. So sit back, relax, take a sip of your coffee, hit the like button, subscribe, check out my Patreon down below if you guys want my real-time buys, sells, call outs, morning update videos, plus more. All of that's on Patreon. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. So I consider today's day a success for the bulls. And we've talked about this many times in the past couple of videos. You guys are probably sick of me talking about it, but we are breaking down technicals every single day here, and we're going over kind of the timeline of what we've been seeing over the past couple of weeks. So we are going to repeat some things here, and it's for good reason, because look, today we broke out of the critical spot we've been talking about, being 445, 446, which was the high from the end of September, right by the 4-hour 180 moving average. You guys can see today we clearly broke out of it, and that is after we saw a bit of a pullback in the morning. If you guys were in my Patreon, you saw my morning update video, or if you were just watching the futures on your own, the markets were a bit red. The S&P was down 0.5%. I believe all the indexes in terms of the futures were down, and then we ended up ripping. Literally, once the market opened, we double bottomed at about 443, and then it was just a rocket ship up from there. You guys can see we went from 443.30, and we ended up closing over $447, $447.19 to be exact, and now we're up even more in the after hours. So in my opinion, right, from what I'm gathering here, looking at this chart, the way I've set it up, and you guys can probably see it as well, the inverse head and shoulders is playing out. We have the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, which is what we called out last week, right? And now we're breaking above 445, 446, and we closed above it. So at this point, the next main gap that I'm looking at on SPY is that all-time high, right? Right around 445, or 55 rather, 450. That is where I think we could be going, maybe even this week, guys. Who knows? If the markets get very hot this week, remember, we have not only, I was going to say we only have 4 days left. We have 4 days left, which is a lot of time. Anything could happen. We could hit all-time highs this week if the markets got very hot, or at least go to test those all-time highs. So very strong day overall today for SPY. And for QQQ, let's pop it up. QQQ is clearly breaking out of the 180 moving average on the 4-hour chart. It's clearly on its way to now test 375, which was the high from about 3 weeks ago from the end of September. And that is the moment of truth spot, in my opinion, on QQQ, right? If we break out of there, we're probably going to go 380, followed by 382, which is the all-time high that I'm seeing here on the 4-hour chart. And you guys can see these different levels based on the trend lines that I literally just drew. So markets crushing it. Very strong day. Tech absolutely went ballistic today. There was a lot of cryptocurrency-oriented stocks that went crazy, like Mara, Riot, Coinbase, which I own. I've been buying that for a couple of months now. And let me get my water very quickly, guys, here. Stay hydrated. I get a lot of comments. Stas, your throat, this, that, the third. You got to stay hydrated, and the truth is, I do these videos in one take, so if I do get a little coffee, I cough up, a little dry throat, that's why. I'm not cutting all these videos. I'm not one of these YouTubers that has a cut every 5 seconds. I like the free-flowing style, which you guys clearly know, because literally out of the past hundreds of videos, none of them are edited. We're one take here. So bear with me. And if you were in the markets today, if you have a long-term portfolio, you probably made some money on paper. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, or maybe you locked in profits and you actually realized those gains. Let me know in the comments how you guys did today. If you all find value in the videos, as always, hit the like button. Let's try to run the likes up on this. Let's try and get 200 plus. It's been a while since we've gotten 200 plus likes. Let's try and do it today. And with that being said, let's go into the meat and potatoes of this video, being 7 stocks that I'm looking at right now. And I have a lot of interesting information to go over today. Some of it's a little bit old, some of it's not. We're going to be waiting for tomorrow to see this information, so it's going to be fun. This whole week we have a lot of earnings reports. The week after we have a lot of earnings reports, so let's get into it. Number one here I'm looking at is Enphase, ticker symbol ENPH. And now that I'm looking at it, Enphase also reports this month, later on, in about 8 days from now. So what is that? Next week on I guess Tuesday. Next Tuesday, Enphase is reporting, and the chart looks pretty dang good to me, right? We're breaking out of both moving averages. If you guys take a look here, we're about to see a golden cross. The 50 is very close to crossing over the 180 SMA on this 4-hour chart at least. And on top of that, we are breaking out. We have been breaking out above the downwards channel, which is great, considering we were in this channel for about 2 months, maybe a little bit over 2 months, and you can see it here clearly. Now we're breaking out, and we're literally at the next breakout spot. Well, let me clarify it. If we can break out of this resistance, we'll probably see the gap push up, or we might fill the gap to the upside rather, and that's right around 180, which is where we're trading now. 180 was resistance back in the beginning of September. If we're able to break out of there, guys, which we literally closed under it, we closed at 179.97 today. I'm going to put my alert right at 180.50. If we're able to break out of there, this could fill the gap probably towards that high from a couple months ago, well, almost 3 months ago, from the beginning of August. You can see that is where we had resistance in the beginning of August, and now that I'm looking at this chart, end of June, early July, and all of July as well. So I see Enphase making a move in the short term, probably before earnings. Well, I don't want to say probably because nobody knows what the heck's going to happen, but maybe in anticipation of earnings, Enphase does start ripping. We kind of saw it today as the stock went up 4%. So set your alerts at 180, 181, 182. That's where I'm watching it. And from there, 190, 195, 200. It's not too far-fetched. So ENPH, we're watching it. Tesla is another one that I'm watching, which I was on record saying very recently and a couple of weeks ago as well. This whole month, I feel like the past month, I've been talking about Tesla, saying 900. It's in the cards. I think 900 could hit by the end of the year. And did I think it was going to hit? Well, we didn't technically hit it yet. We're still at 870. But did I think we were going to get this close to 900 this fast? No. I mean, that's the crazy thing about the markets, guys. You don't know what the heck's going to happen. And things could happen a lot quicker than you think they could happen. And they could happen a lot slower as well. I've experienced both sides of the coin, and I'm sure a lot of you have as well. And Tesla has just been on fire. I mean, it went from $800 just 6 calendar days ago, literally last week on Tuesday. It was $800, and today it went up to $870, and it's up a little bit more after hours. The stock went up 3.2% on the day, and it went up $27 on the day. So by the looks of it, this wants 900 way before the end of the year. Mind you, we still have the rest of October, and then we have November, December. We have 2.5 months left in the year, which is plenty of time based on the trend that I'm seeing here for Tesla to go from 870 to 900. And sure, we're probably going to see a pullback between us and the end of the year in the next 2.5 months. Tesla could go from 800, or rather 870 to 850, then back up to 870, break up to 900. That's probably what could happen. Keyword is could. Nobody knows what's going to happen. But by the looks of it, Tesla's crushing it. And we got news on Friday. This is a little bit late. I'm late to the party. With today's day and age, with all the technology, if you're a couple hours late, you're late to reporting the news, right? Burry, as of Friday, he came out, I think he wrote an email or something to CNBC, I believe it was. He came out and said he's no longer short Tesla. which is crazy to me considering at the end of the second quarter, Scion Management held about 1 million puts. Could you imagine buying 1 million puts? That is insane. They held about 1 million puts of Tesla worth more than 700 million. You guys remember that because I made a video on it when we first got that news via their 13F filing. And Burry told CNBC by email that the media had blown his Tesla short bet out of proportion and that it was just a trade, which, okay, fine. It was just a trade, but, you know, it makes sense. The media, you know how that goes, guys. They tend to twist things. Maybe it did get out of proportion or did get misconstrued exactly what the position was or what it was for, whether it's a long-term play, short-term, I guess. Sure, that could have been misconstrued, no doubt. But either way, the fact is, we saw it in the 13F filing. He had a crap ton of puts against Tesla, and he said this, quote unquote, "Media really inflated the value of these things. I was never short tens or hundreds of millions of any of these things through options, as was reported," which doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. This is a quote from Burry. The options bets were extremely asymmetric, and the media was off by orders of magnitude. So take it how you will. I don't know. You know, the 13F filing said he was short or he had puts on $700 million worth. I don't know. Take it for what it is. But as of now, according to Burry, which who the heck knows what's going to be on the next 13F filing, they're no longer short Tesla. So that maybe pushed the stock up. I don't know. I'm speculating here. That along with the delivery numbers we got about a week ago and the anticipation of the earnings report that we're getting, I believe, on Wednesday and 2 days from now, this is probably moving the stock. So at this point in time, we're at 880, roughly, resistance, right? Which was the double top resistance back in February before we saw this massive sell-off, right? From 880 down to 530. Tesla went down 35% February. You know, not in February, but the months after February, it got completely destroyed. So now that we're back to 880 pretty much, I want to see, do we break that February high? If so, that's probably going to be the last straw. Well, it is the last straw between us and that $900 level, which, again, I said I think Tesla could get there by the end of the year, which I'm still sticking to. 880 is the last straw. So set your alerts, guys. Keep an eye on 880. That's all I got to say on Tesla at this point in the short term. But a lot's going on with that one. And as always, I'm very excited for that report. Nike, NKE, is another one that I'm looking at, which on this yearly chart, you can clearly see the uptrends continuing. We sold off after the last earnings report. We held the 180 SMA. Now we're bouncing back up, about to test the 50 SMA. You guys can see that on the yearly chart here. And the bigger time frame, well, not really, it's not the bigger time frame. It's a smaller time frame, but this is a bigger signal that I'm seeing on the 4-hour chart is that we're breaking out of the 180 moving average, and we've been trading above the 50 moving average on this time frame. This is a very good sign for an overall reversal, and the fact that we're actually slowly but surely testing that high from, I believe, before they reported earnings in the end of September. The fact that we're testing that 159 high right now and we're trying to break it, that's a good sign as well. And if we do break it, I'm going to put my alert at 160 here, then we can see a huge move upwards in Nike, right? Maybe back up to the mid-high 160s, back to the 170s. That is for sure in the cards right now. And this kind of looks like a little bit an inverse head and shoulder forming on the 4-hour chart. We have the left shoulder there, the head, and then this could be the right shoulder right here. Although we haven't had much trading around this right shoulder. So keep your eyes on it, guys. This is setting up for a breakout. Ticker symbol NKE. Amazon, AMZN, is also looking pretty good right now for a breakout. Well, it is kind of already breaking out. I mean, look at this. I think we called this out maybe on Thursday or Friday of last week, and you guys can clearly see now we're breaking out of the wedge. We took the resistance out We're trading above both moving averages, and we're at roughly a month high at this point, and we broke the high from a month ago, which was around 34.20. Today we're trading at 34.40. Right? You guys can clearly see that. So at this point in time, how high can Amazon go? I mean, that's the question, right? They report earnings on the 28th, so 10 calendar days from today. What is that? Not this Thursday, or maybe not this Wednesday, Thursday, but next Wednesday, Thursday, they report. So I'm very interested in this as a trade. I own it as an investment already, as many of you guys probably do as well. But now that we're breaking out, technically speaking, I'm looking at it as a trade. So I'm looking at Amazon. I like it. J&J is another one that I'm keeping my eyes on because they report earnings tomorrow on the 19th, and they typically report pre-market. Yeah, you guys can see that here. Before market Central Standard Time, 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time is when they report. And you guys can clearly see here on the yearly chart, we're holding the uptrending channel. We have been ever since the beginning of 2021. And recently, I mean, J&J stock has been clobbered. It's gone from 180 down to about 160. It's down 12%, meaning it's not in correction, or rather, it's not in bear market territory yet, but it's in correction territory. And I want to see if this earnings report sparks up any price action to the upside. I mean, we're already seeing a bullish divergence. Look at the RSI here. Ever since the beginning of September, RSI has been strengthening as the stock has been selling off, and recently the stock has been finding a bottom at the bottom of this channel. So this could be setting up for a move. I'm interested in tracking this. And J&J, don't get it twisted, guys. This is not a stock that's going to go parabolic in a week. It's not going to go right back to 180. It's not going to shoot up 20% in a day. It's just not that kind of stock. But if you want a longer term swing, and this is not financial advice, I'm just talking here, right, guys? If you have some time on your side, and you have some cash, this could be a decent play, especially if they report good earnings, EPS, revenue, guidance looks strong. I think J&J could be a play. Procter & Gamble, PG, another boring stock. It's not going to go haywire. It's not going to go 10% in the green in one day. But if you have some time on your hands, this could play out pretty nicely, especially if they do well with earnings. And one thing that I'm looking out for, and by the way, tomorrow they report in the morning at 7:30 a.m. Central Standard, same as J&J. I'm looking to see how the inflation that we're seeing, which is no secret, guys, there's a lot of inflation out there. I'm looking to see how Procter & Gamble is weathering the storm, as they have a lot of consumer staples, and I'm assuming a lot of their products, they're ticking up the price. So, and that's the thing that you guys have to realize, right? A lot of people don't realize this, but when there's a lot of inflation out there, obviously these businesses are going to increase the prices, right? Because they have to pay their workers more. And that's the thing, with the minimum wage as well. We're not going to get into this rabbit hole, but the politicians want to raise minimum wage, which, again, I'm not being political here. I'm just speaking the facts. They raise minimum wage and they're like, oh, yes, we're raising minimum wage. But at the end of the day, inflation's going up just as much, if not more, than what the minimum wage is going up. Or salaries. We can make this argument about salaries. Salaries go up 1% a year, 2%, and now inflation is 5, 6, 7+% a year. And people are like, oh, yes, salaries are going up, minimum wage is going up. But most people don't understand inflation. They don't understand that they're being taxed kind of right behind their back, in a sense, because their purchasing power is it's less. It's being diminished, right? And that's because of all the easy money that we're seeing, which, again, I'm not getting down that rabbit hole today, but Procter & Gamble is definitely feeling that. Inflation, raising their prices, which I'm assuming they're doing. It's very minimal here, guys, too. Let's say a thing of toothpaste is like $3. They'd probably raise it to $3.30, $3.25, which the average consumer would be like, it's not a big deal. But at the end of the day, that is a 10% increase, which is a lot. And that kind of offsets the inflation for them. and it kind of weathers the storm for them, which is what I kind of want to see in their earnings report. So keep your eyes out on Procter & Gamble earnings tomorrow morning. We're seeing a 3-year ascending triangle playing out. I want to see if we do get that leg up and we break out. I'm very interested in that. And UAL, the last one for today, guys, although the chart on the 3-year chart looks like crap, the yearly chart doesn't look any better either. I'm just interested in seeing how these airlines are performing, right? We're seeing, I think DAL already reported, LUV, a lot of these people or the customers, or not the customers, employees are stepping out. They're on strike or whatever the heck. So yeah, airline industry is interesting right now. We're seeing a lot of flights being canceled, delays, this, that, the third, and I mean it's a crazy time we're living in, guys. And at this point, UAL is down about 10% from its recent high, so it's in correction territory pretty much, and it's trading right above the 180 moving average on this 4-hour chart, with earnings coming out tomorrow morning. Actually, no, it's in 2 days from now on the 20th, so scratch that. It's not tomorrow, it's in 2 days, but either way, we're watching UAL, and I want to see if buyers potentially step in here at the 180 moving average in the mid to high 40s to push this thing potentially back into the 50s. If not, let's say they bomb on earnings, they're bad, the earnings, this could start pushing low 40s again to test that low point. The low points, shall I say, from July, from August, and then from about a month ago in the middle of September. So a lot's going on here, guys. Big tech's reporting, Tesla's reporting. I want to see how inflation's hurting these stocks, maybe benefiting the stocks. I don't know, which, it's a huge rabbit hole we can get into, but we're not going to do that in this video. So if you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts, and let's try and get 200 likes. Again, let's try and get 200 likes. Run that like button up. I appreciate each and every one of you out there, and if you want to support me a bit further and get exclusive perks, content, a bunch of stuff, check out the Patreon down below. I post all my buys, sells, call outs, morning update videos, plus more, all in real time on Patreon. Just simply use my link or go to stocksurfest.com/Patreon. Make sure to also get your free money from Webull and from M1 Finance. Limited time, guys. That stuff could be out in the next couple of weeks. Who the heck knows when they're going to end that promotion? Check it out. Link down below. And check out my video from earlier if you want a couple more stocks, some more thoughts on the markets. Check it out. I'll catch you guys there. Thanks for watching again. As always, keep crushing the markets. Stay safe out there. Peace out.